Hello, beautiful souls. I hope this finds you well. I've been called to do this reading today uh, for a select group of people. You'll know if this reading resonates with you, of course, and if it's not for you, or for someone else, there may be certain things I say that are for you. If other things don't resonate or don't resonate yet, it may be coming, or it may be for other people. This is a collective reading, so but I have specific messages from Source. You may be noticing or feeling around this time that you're watching this video, or maybe it's been a little bit in the past, but I feel if you have had these issues, that it will sort of come back a little bit, but not as bad. Physical symptoms, particularly lower back issues, hip issues around the front, the groin and above the groin. I don't know if you know muscles, it's psoas muscle, but hip flexors, glutes, piriformis, right around the hips, back and front, but particularly around the sacral area. There may be pain, tightness, discomfort, finding it difficult to bend forward, things like that. And what I've been told is that and if you don't have those symptoms, that's okay. That doesn't mean the reading's not for you. I'm just saying there will be some people who this energy will be presenting itself with physical symptoms. You have to excuse the wind, it's extremely windy here today. I don't know if you can hear it. More winds of change. And the message that's been coming through is that there's a refining, a cleansing, a recalibration of the lower two spinal chakras, energy centers, being the root chakra and the sacral, so the red and the orange, if you know anything about that sort of stuff. So the energy centers in our bodies that are responsible for our grounding, our security, our sense of stability and balance, and for our passion and creative energy. So some of you may be experiencing some issues around the things I just listed. So it may show up physically, but certainly will show up mentally and emotionally. So you may actually feel like your focus is being brought to the very foundations of your life right now. Whatever you feel are the foundations, whether it's your career and the history thereof, whatever the story is around your career, whatever your story is around your family, whatever your story and experience is around your love life, your intimate relationships, and then outside of that, friendships. The focus is being brought to the foundations. It's hard to find the right words to describe this because it's really multi-layered and physical and metaphysical. It's really a tricky one to define in words, but your focus is being brought to, it may be some people experiencing memories of the past, 20 years ago and longer, looking at the foundations that have caused the patterns, the cycles that you can now see more clearly, patterns of behaviours from other people, patterns of behaviours that how we respond in certain situations, how we have done so in the past when we've had certain situations come up, or repeating cycles and repeating situations come up. And when I say repeating, it could be if you have if your childhood, for example, or your your experiences from childhood or your teen years, or whenever you can see the beginning of it, that you have a certain belief about yourself. That, like, for example, your feelings don't matter, or nothing you have to say is of value, or you're just here for service, or whatever it is, right? That has been underpinning your self-esteem, your sense of value of self, and all that kind of stuff. This is foundational stuff. So when I'm talking about cycles, I'm talking about events and experiences that you've had. They'll be very different experiences, but they all highlight that underpinning belief that you've had because of how you've been treated in the past. So how you've been treated since then has been reflecting those core beliefs that were instilled in you, if that makes sense. Back then. And so that's why it's a cycle, it's a pattern, because although the experiences may be different, the people around you triggering it might be different, but it all keeps coming down to this person did this, that person did that, da 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 da, I forgave, I overlooked it, I whatever, da da da, and but the feeling's the same, if that makes sense. So that's where we're being our focus is being drawn to that, or elements of that feeling are coming up. Those feelings are coming up into our faces, and it can create a sense of instability, of insecurity. Not insecurity in a paranoid sort of way, but just not feeling like you can be the most earthy, grounded person in the world, and you can feel a shaking, a rocking up, it's like when the earth goes through a tremor or earthquake, there's a shaking up. It doesn't mean breaking down or destruction or anything like that, but that you can feel a shift at your core, at your base. And it may be creating a lot of emotional stuff coming up in you, a lot of memories flashing through. So like, it's almost like, when they say your life flashes before your eyes, before you pass over. Well, we go through many deaths all through these lives. As many old parts of us die away and new parts are born and all that sort of stuff. Every transition that we go through that occurs. So that's what's happening. This is a major transformation, a major transition period. So where you may, particularly those of you who have a greater sense of self-awareness of energy and spiritual connection and particularly spiritual abilities, you may have these epiphany moments where you just get whacked with memories of things that have happened in the past that all trigger the same feelings or thought, beliefs of self, or that kind of thing, all just flashing, or within 10 minutes, space of 5-10 minutes. And then what can happen is within that you relive the pain of it, of the events, of the experiences, momentarily, but it brings up all that pain again. And also you're shown how those people could have behaved differently, how you did behave, and then how you could have behaved differently. So that how you could have behaved differently part is that who you are today and all of the growth you've had since these experiences is that you have your back way more than you ever did, because you were taught that you weren't worth anything. So you were, and I'm using words just out of simplicity here, just for the sake of ease, if you were taught that you're not of any value unless you're of use, for example, or your opinion doesn't count, or your feelings don't count, you're treated with disregard when you're not needed, that kind of thing, that seems to be a theme at the moment, then you've grown since then. So when you're forced to look back at these experiences, you can see through your current lens that you would not respond to that experience the way that you did before, the way you did back then. It doesn't take away the pain, no. And this is not out of, again, I've said this in another video in the past, it's not out of self-criticism. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? It's like flashes, bang, 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 bang. It's not about, when you self-reflect, it's not about criticising what you didn't do for yourself then. But know that if you were treated with, felt like you'd been abandoned or unsupported in youth, then these events brings that feeling back, and so then you're responding to it back then. You're responding to it in a way out of it's a trauma response. It's I need to stabilize things here because I don't feel secure, I don't feel stable in this friendship, relationship, family situation, whatever. So I need to be the one who provides some stability for myself. But in actual fact, when you overgive or overforgive or negate your own feelings and your own and not stand up for yourself, not have your own back then, that's you abandoning yourself. So you're then doing to yourself what you've always felt others have done for you. I hope that all makes sense. But today, you're a completely different you're the same person, obviously, with a big, beautiful heart, but you are completely different in a way that you would handle these situations very, very differently. Today, there would be consequences for people. You would be stepping away, whatever, or you'd be speaking up, or whatever it is that you would do today. So, as I've said in the past videos, celebrate the growth that you've had. But this has been so potentially for some people really overwhelming emotionally, mentally, the revisitation of this. So I'm just sort of here to explain it. So those basins and sacral chakras, those energy centers, are at your foundations, are being kind of shaken up right now, and there's a lot of things that are not needed. Energy that's not needed is being dissipated and broken away. So your hips might feel unstable, your lower back pain, your muscles might feel tight or whatever when you do certain movements or whatever. The trick here is to find balance. So it's physical balance, emotional balance, mental balance, and balance in your activities, like so what you do. So they're saying lots of rest. Get lots of, if you feel like, I'm gonna break if I just don't take a break, then take a break, right? You can use whatever your normal structures and normal activities that you do with your routines in your day-to-day life, whether it's work or if you're retired, it's exercise or whatever or charity work or whatever your things are that you normally do. You can use them while you're feeling sort of broken apart and unstable. You can use those things by turning up for those things, use those structures in your life as supports. So I don't mean turning up for work and bawling your eyes out. I mean that you turn up anyway and do the best you can do, type of thing. But balance that out, balance your activity out because you use that structure as support by turning up. Balance that activity out with recognizing when you actually need time out and to actually rest. So it's not about, I need to get away from this feeling, I don't know why I'm experiencing this, so I'm going to push myself into gym really hard, or I'm going to push myself into gardening, or I'm going to go crazy socializing, or I'm going to up my sex life, or I'm going to anything to excess. I'm going to put all my energy into work. If you're doing any of that and it's to excess, so when I say to excess, you're working harder. The more upset you are, the harder more focus you're putting on your work, the more focus you're putting on your sex life, the more focus you're putting on whatever it is that you're grabbing onto in order to try to stabilize yourself and get through this. Ease off. It means that you're trying to run away from how you're feeling at the moment, and we need to sit with it, actually. Don't run away from yourself, because that's another form of self-abandonment, right? So let yourself feel it, let it pass through you, because if you don't do that, if you don't create a sense of ease, no matter how painful or unstable it makes you feel, if you don't create a sense of ease within yourself in letting the energy flow through you, you will create resistance instead. The running away part, or the fighting it, trying to break away from that feeling, is resistance. And where there is resistance, there is pain. There's more pain. You're elongating the pain for yourself, making it difficult for yourself. So go with the flow. Just keep, like these times that we're in right now, you gotta go with the flow, okay? Because if you don't go with the flow, you're going to be swimming against the current, or getting crashed up against the rocks, or you're not going to have a fun time. And it's not a fun time, okay? It's challenging, and through that pressure, through the challenge, is how the diamonds are formed, right? So we become more and more refined as we pass through life. All our challenges smooth us down and refine us. And when I say refine us, we have a greater understanding of who we are, what our actual intent is, and how we show up in the world. And when we have a greater understanding of that about ourselves, then we know what our energy is. And when we really have a great sense of, know thyself, and really have a strong sense of who we are and what we are, like, things bounce off us. It doesn't mean that you're not still hypersensitive as a spiritual individual. It just means you bounce back quicker. But the point I'm trying to make is, when we take you and put you in a room of people, or in another building, or another town or country, or any other change of environment or change of people around you, you feel it, because you have a stronger sense of who and what you are and what your energy feels like when it is balanced. So as soon as you come across an energy, whether it's a person who's smiling at you, for example, but they you can count the teeth, and that's how many knives you're going to have in your back. When you turn around, their intent is not great for you, but they're putting on a mask, a smiley face to you, want to act like they're your best friend or whatever, but they actually are out to get what they can get. You'll feel it. You'll feel uneasy around this person, even if they're doing all the right things. You'll feel something's not right here energetically. I can feel it. So be polite, step away, for example. Okay? So balance things out. If you've been doing too much exercise lately to get things shifting, if you've been doing too much stretching even to stabilize your physical symptoms, just balance. Activity, rest, socialization. What's the opposite of socialization? Hermetization. Keep, having time to yourself. Don't spend too much time to yourself. You may feel like people that you might have started to think who are there to support you may not be there. But that's another, like if you're dealing with those chakras, we're talking about security, stability. So if the people around you, if you go to sort of reach out to people and they don't seem interested to hear what's going on for you right now, or they're just not there in some way for you, that's part of it. That makes you feel more destabilized, right? That makes you feel, oh, I don't even have a support network, or whatever it is. Or I can't, that person's not there for me anymore, or whatever. That's part of it. That's to highlight your sense of instability, of your insecure grounds, if that makes sense. It's to highlight that because they want you to feel it. We need to feel it, so that we can build it ourselves, build new foundations for ourselves. It's through spirit, through source, that it will all come. There's nothing you need to do other than try to keep yourself in balance. This is the whole point, right? So don't be surprised if things that were there for you before as some kind of support system suddenly become unreliable. And you go, oh shit, I can't even I'm in the water and I can't even reach out. There's nothing for me to grab hold of. Just stop and breathe and you'll float, right? Don't start thrashing about and go, oh, I'm going to sink, because you'll sink. You'll get a cramp or you'll get tired, and then you just don't have the energy to sustain yourself in the water, so just float. I hope that makes sense. And we're learning how to have our own back, that we don't need, and it's not in the rejection of support from around us, but we're learning true inner strength, put it that way. And it is so that, and this has come up many, many times, this aspect of it's come up many, many times in my readings over the years, depending on what caliber client I have sitting in front of me, that if we can, we get you to a point where we can put you in any environment or situation anywhere around the world, and you have such a strong sense of yourself that you don't feel fear, you don't feel threatened, you just recognize the shift in energy, and you recognize what's yours and what's not, and whether you remain there or remove yourself. I hope that all makes sense. And it's equipping us with a stronger sense of self and reliability, self-backing, all that kind of stuff, that stronger than we've ever had before. So you might already be someone who's learnt that lesson 50 times over, and you're the strongest you've ever been. But at the moment, you're feeling what I'm describing, or it's coming for you soon, a neighbourhood near you. Just know that's it's like, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this again? But you'll recognise that you're going through it in a way that you never have before. This is different. This is different. The times are changing. The energy that we're in right now is so different to what we've ever been in. So we're getting copped with the spiritual upgrades. We're getting copped with whatever emotions we have to release. We're getting copped with whatever we're choosing not to face. And I'm just saying, do it with as much ease as you can. You need to have a cry, go and have a cry. If you've got a friend you can talk to, do it. If you don't feel like you'd be judged by that person or whatever, or do some writing and then destroy it. Get in the bath. This was one that Spirit said very strongly this morning, was get out in nature. And it doesn't mean go and do your gardening necessarily, although there's nothing wrong with that if you feel inclined to do it, because you need to move and strengthen yourself. But go and connect with nature. Slow, leisurely stroll. Notice the plants, the leaves. the trunks in particular of the trees, rocks, yeah? And just take that energy in, just observe. You don't have to think anything, you don't have to do anything, just be. And that's the message from Source at the moment, is just be, just let us do it. You're gonna get, it's like getting your birthday wax from your ankles, the soles of your feet, up your ankles, up your legs, right up to the top. It's like we're getting whacked around to get things moving and break away energies that will not serve us moving forward. Okay, in order to become higher beings, we have to let go, shed the old skin, yeah, and actually let go of it. And I'm not encouraging you to do this in your mind. I'm not telling you go and cut cords and, you know, mantras and all that stuff. Just stop. Just be. Learn to be, and that you're okay when you just float. No matter how choppy the water is, you just float. Okay? And be there for yourself. So don't run by busying yourself. Really listen to yourself and what you need in any given moment. Okay? I hope that makes sense. If there was anything I've forgotten to say, Source will remind me as we do the cards. So what I'm getting, Source is deliberately getting me to say everything I'm saying to you right now, because this is always, but today in particular, they're giving you a bird's eye view of things rather than, so we're talking about the general energies passing through. We're not talking about the nitty gritties of, oh, this person's going to do this and you need to do that. And, you know, we're not talking about the nitty gritty stuff, day to day stuff. We're talking about, this is how I am generally in my work, but today in particular, they said to me, this is bird's eye view stuff. This is an overlook of the energies and why people are feeling the way they're feeling, or certain people are feeling the way they're feeling. Okay? It's to lighten us up, to release us from the shackles of the past, whatever it is that you're going through, in whatever forms that what I'm describing is showing up in your life. You know, it might not be your lower back, it might be your ankles, it might be your feet issues. I can't step forward because da-da-da. It might be knee issues. I have fear moving forward. I'm locked. Yeah? The other thing was, apart from being in nature, being in water. So if you don't have a bath, have a shower. Give yourself permission to have more than one shower a day if you can afford it, and just let the water run over you. Okay? Showers don't always have to be because you want to get yourself clean. Like, you have your cleaning shower, and then if you need, particularly those of us who, you know, we have higher needs because we're transmuting energy of the people around us. We're always dealing with our ancestral bonds and ancestral cycles that we're breaking in this lifetime. Or I'm sure some of you can relate to what I'm saying there, right? And so we need we need to do extra things for ourselves. Yeah. What we do for ourselves is more important for us because we're so affected by the energies and we're always being upgraded, and it's tough stuff. So, you know, have your shower that's for cleaning, and then whenever you need it, if you need it that day or the next day or whatever, have your showers that are about cleansing your aura. And don't even think of it that way. I shouldn't have said that. I don't mean that, you know, self-critical way. I mean, I'm not serving you by saying that. Have a shower because you want to feel the water running across your skin, because you want to, if you're in a cold place, you want to feel the warmth. If you're in a hot place, you want to feel the coolness. Does that make sense? Balance. I hope that all makes sense. So we're going to do a little spread here and just see what other insights comes from source. Okay. Huh. How confronting the tower for the present position. And we have the sun. There's your opposites. Crazy. Crazy. These are crazy times. An immediate result is temperance. So again, balance. Okay. So right there, even if I don't put any other cards down, right there is exactly what I've been talking about. So the tower, we're talking foundations, crumbling, tower gets struck by lightning or it's on fire, drama, something that you thought was a constant has broken apart. If it's not a relationship or a loss of friendship or a change of job or something, some dramatic quick thing that just was like bang, gone, done, then it could be a major shift in the way you think, and certainly, definitely a major shift in the way that you perceive at least one other person, if not several others, or an environment. A shift in the way you perceive. It's like having the wool forcibly removed from your eyes. It's a shocker, right? And then you can never look at them the same way again for what you've seen or what you've observed. So, turmoil, foundations breaking, things that you thought were stable, breaking apart, all that kind of stuff. This year is 2025 is a 9-year. It doesn't mean that people, if you're watching this in 2042, then and you're going through this, then great, you found the right video to watch for what you're going through at the time. But particularly 2025 adds up to 9. This is a year of endings, of completion of cycles. So endings doesn't mean loss. We need to stop thinking of, oh, if it's a year of endings, what am I going to lose? I need to grab onto everything. I need to put more energy into everything. Don't. Float. Just float, because whatever's meant to leave you will leave you. Whatever's meant to stay will stay. If something leaves you and then it comes back, there's more to look at. There's more, like, that can happen too, right? So it's not about what we're going to lose. It's about cycles that we've come to the end of being released, so that we can create we can move into new loops of energy. Yeah, it's a passageway we're in. We're in a passageway. We're being shown the door. This stuff is over with, and we leave it behind, and we step through the door into the portal, into the new. Yeah, into whatever it is that we're stepping into, and we can't see it right now. And don't try to guess or stress about it either. Whatever we're going to experience is what we're signed up to do as souls, right? So, big drama. And the encouragement is to be playful with yourself, acknowledge that life is never perfect. There's always stuff in the background going on, and but you can choose. This really represents you choosing that no matter what's going on, that you still can get out in the sun and have fun. The energy of horse is really coming out 3D for me at the moment. So, whatever horse represents for you. When a horse steps, it steps deliberately. When it puts its foot down, it's with power. Okay, so it's about moving forward, taking deliberate steps, And it's not just about using our intellect to work out what step we're taking, but our passion as well. So it's the top and the bottom chakras, okay? So, and again, we're coming through to balance. So balance out the sense of loss and pain and emotional and mental difficulty with, well, I'm going to do what brings me joy. I haven't been to this place for 20 years, and I've often caught myself talking to people about this place that I haven't been to for 20 years, that I used to frequent, every now and then or often back then. And it's a really lovely place, and I really, really enjoy being there. So go there, take yourself there. Yeah, do those things that you always have said, you really enjoyed doing, but haven't done for a long time. Go and do it. Be there for yourself. It could be as simple as, you've been pining for a walk along the beach that you used to do all the time, but you live further away now, or whatever it is, or you just haven't had time for many years. Do it. Okay. Horse is also about passion. It's about fast movement forward. So, as I said before, sit on your laurels when you need to sit on your laurels. Like rest, take your rest. Give yourself permission for physical and mental rest when you need it. And then when you feel like I'm getting stagnant now, I'm resting too much, get off your laurels. I don't know what your laurels are. I think it's just another word for get off your bum. And get moving and do something not out of, well, you've been so inactive because you've been so upset, or your back's been so sore, or your feet have been so sore, or your knees have been so sore, whatever. So you've been so inactive and you've got all these things you need to get done. Do not do that to yourself. Get up and move and do what you want to do. Okay? I find yoga really stabilizing for me. It's a real stabilizer for my emotions and mentally, especially doing the yogic breath through the positions. What's your thing? Actually, tell me what your thing is in the comments. Let's share that. What do you do to balance yourself out? Maybe you're just realizing now which activities actually balance you out. But the thing we've been told to look at is, why do we do what we do? What are the things that we do in our lives? And why do we do them? What's our motivation for doing them? And have a look at why we show up the way we show up. Do I need to show up that way anymore? Because we're changing. Every day, every week, every month, there's more shifts occurring that may present themselves as physical pain or emotional pain or mental anguish. But we have to move through. We've got no choice but to move through them, and we are changing, baby. So reassess. Look at why you do what you do. Don't just do things blindly because that's what you've always done. Even within your intimate relationships, I do this because this is who I am. I'm the caregiver. I'm the cook. I'm the one that people come to for stability, clarity, understanding, empathy, whatever it is. Like, I'm that. That's who I am. That's what I am. Sure, be that. Acknowledge those beautiful skills and qualities within yourself. But to what degree do you do all of those things? Do you do all those things to a degree where you're actually attracting people who don't have any of those skills and are constantly needing from you? And so because they're at that caliber within themselves, or whatever the right words are, when you're actually in need and you need some of what you give, they're incapable of giving you that. Is that what you want? So balance. If you're doing all those things and negating your needs while you're doing them, just out of service, because that's what you always do, how about you come home and say, I'm not cooking today, so work it out. I'm not doing this today, so work it out. They come to you upset, I'll listen to you, I'm not going to give you advice. I can't pour the level of energy into your problems, into stabilizing you, the way that I have always done. So you're going to need to start developing some coping mechanisms within yourself. But I'll certainly be here to listen. I'll certainly be here to give you some reassuring touch and show you that I care. But I cannot be your psycho counsellor or, da-da-da 24/7, like you can just come and flick a switch whenever you need that from me. Like, you need to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet and learn how to regulate and stabilise yourself. And I'll help you with the skills to do that, but I can't be a battery that you plug into whenever you need it, when I've got my own stuff going on as well. That will make sense to some people. So there was a lot in that. And so so this is interesting. So absolute drama, chaos, destruction, loss, whatever. You're being encouraged to respond to this drama with the best card, the highest frequency card in the whole, deck. And that is, get out in the sun and enjoy yourself while this destruction goes on. Does that make sense? You're going to feel very unstable and insecure. Your sense of security is going to be getting a bit of a shake-up, or is getting a bit of a shake-up, and it's causing you a lot of mental distress and emotional upheaval. And so they're saying respond to that. Perhaps the biggest drama you've ever faced. I'm sure it's not, but it still really hurts. Respond to it with the most positive response you can give. And I'm not talking about be positive. I am not talking about positivity and negativity. I'm talking about what you go and do with your body. Get your vessel out there moving. Go and sit in the sun if you want to. Lay in the sun. As I said, get out in nature. If you're on the couch for 2 days, if that's what you need, that's what you do. But then you get up. And you either use your normal routine and as structures to keep you moving, but don't overdo it, and always balance it out. But it's an extremely, I'm moving forward on the horse. I'm moving forward in the sun. I'm getting on with my life because there's nothing I can do about this. This is going to happen anyway. And I'm seeking joy. Look at the face in the sun. I'm seeking joy. And I'm going to do what brings me joy. Okay? And even in that, don't overdo it. Like for you, joy might be sex, interacting sexually with people. Or it might be charity. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up, right? If you overdo it, it's not healthy for you. You need to balance everything out. Balance everything out. Today I did this, tomorrow I won't do that again, I'll do this. I've been doing, I'm going to rest. There's no guilt, no nothing. If you need to tell people, no, I can't turn up. If you need to tell people, what was the other thing? Tell people I can't turn up. Tell people I'm not cooking, or I can't do that for you today, or whatever it is. Just, you need to communicate that. That will open up the throat chakra. You start communicating out of a place of self-love because you're saying what you will and won't do. What you will and won't do. And so even within intimate relationships, what are you prepared to do or not do anymore that you've always done? When you're at work, the role you always played in your different jobs or within the same long-term job or career, how is it that you always show up? What role do you always play, and why? Look at why you play that. Look at the base, the foundation of why you do what you do. Why you've always done what you do, and reassess whether that's healthy for you, whether that's self-serving, and by self-serving I do not mean selfish to the detriment of others, or whether that serves you to do things to that degree all the time and always show up the same way and always be that person who, whatever it is that you do. Does that serve you? dial it back. Don't do it at all. Take a rest from it. You'll start showing up to your workplace, your family, your friends, your partners in different ways. And they're all kind of go, they're going to notice, and you can express it. I'm letting you know, I'm putting you on notice, I'm letting you know this thing that I've always done, this role that I've always played, or this thing that everyone finds me useful for, or whatever. I'm taking a break from that. I don't need to, that will be something that's not readily available to whoever wants it whenever they need it, put it that way. It's still there, it's still available, but ask for permission for my time or whatever. Does that make sense? Ask me for help. Don't wait for me to see what you need and jump in and help you, whatever it is. And sometimes when you ask me for access to this thing that I've been giving away willy-nilly, or that you've always had access to, I may say no, not right now. That's who I am today. Make sense? So you're in control of what energies you're putting out, and to whom, and in what way, and when. And when you withdraw and replenish yourself. Ain't nobody there to replenish you. You got to do it. And if you're not doing that, this is why you've been so tired. You're abandoning yourself. In what ways do you abandon yourself? In what ways do you negate your needs and put other things or responsibilities, obligations, or people before you? And then look at the foundations of why you do that. And if you won't willingly look at it, and I'm not suggesting everybody sit down and psychoanalyze themselves, that's the opposite of what we need to do right now. But if you can't see those things with ease, then the universe source is gonna show us if it hasn't already. Okay, so don't stress. If you're not going through this and you're just watching this and there's some things I'm saying that are helping you along, then awesome. And you're not experiencing this, lucky you. But actually, those who are experiencing this, who truly know the nature of energy and the what's going on here, will really actually feel gratitude to the divine. It's like it's kind of like I'm doing something a certain way, I'm doing it, and then something happens, whether it's physical or this thing is just not there anymore for me to do. That's the tower moment, right? So that's like it's like overdoing something in a certain way, and then suddenly you can't do it anymore. And it hurts you. It's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Can't believe I just said gosh. What do I do now? I've always done this. This is who I am. My identity and ego and whatever is attached to this. What do I do now? Who am I? And it causes all of this distress and stuff like that. But those who are in the know to be grateful, no matter how painful it is. They know to be grateful. So keep your connection with the divine even in your darkest times. Okay? And be the one who brings joy. It doesn't mean don't give yourself permission to fall apart. A breakdown is a breakthrough. Okay? So allow yourself the time and space to be able to fall apart. And then be there. Be the one who's there for yourself, to support yourself, not whip yourself out of the couch or out of the bath or out of the whatever you're in, to listen and see what you need and do what you need. Do what you need, do what brings you joy. And reflect when you need to reflect. Encourage those around you to reflect on how, you might find yourself actually having some pretty honest conversations with people around you and say, look, you've been in my life for 30 years. This has been the pattern that I've noticed. I got whacked with this. I'm really upset. This needs to change. Or why did you do that back then? Or da-da-da. Can you see? Do you have memory of that? Blah, blah, blah. It's not about accusations and blame and now I'm going to punish you and all that sort of stuff. But if it means that you need to take some time away from that person, then do so. You can still do that in a loving way and do what you need to do for yourself. Does that make sense? Anyway, so by doing that, taking taking on this frequency of joy while we're going through dark times, actually elevates you to a place that gives you choices, that allows you to tie up loose ends, that brings you out of the heavy, choppy water feeling, and actually sets you at the beginning of your path forward that will light up before you as you take each step. But it's like right now, the best that can be achieved is that we find balance, that we weigh things up. It doesn't mean we're up in our heads. It means that we trust the divine and we go, I know I'm in transition at the moment and I'm okay. I know that I'm safe. I've got my feet on solid ground because I'm here for myself. And thank you for being here for me. Yeah? Whatever your thing is. Oh, goodness. So the Wheel of Fortune, distant past, recent past, the High Priestess. So back in the past, what's the shift here? It's kind of like what I'm getting from these is that in the past, your decisions, your passions, your whatever, were always based on what was happening around you and who you had around you. It's like there were many influences affecting you. Now, I've never read this card this way before, ever. But this is what I'm getting today with these two cards, is notice the difference between making decisions based on what's happening around you and who's around you, the influences that are around you, being influenced by external factors. That's how you were making your decisions in the past. And then now you're making decisions for yourself based on your own needs. Lots of influences around you, no one around you. And I don't mean that in a sense of loss or anything. You could still have heaps of people around you. But you're doing what you need to do intuitively, making choices for yourself, and it's you've perhaps entered a new contract, like you might have moved house or rented a place or changed jobs or started up some hobby into a small business idea or something like that. But you did things based on what feels right rather than what looks better on paper. Using your intuition much more, whereas this is you being influenced by so many other factors and people around you, and so the direction of your life was heavily influenced by others, whereas this is what do I want? What am I doing? The pineapples at the back, and I think they're pomegranates or tomatoes or apples. I don't think they're apples, tomatoes or pomegranates up the top. Represents the fruitfulness of your decisions. Yeah, that it's fruitful for you because of the way you made the decision. I hope that makes sense. It's very stable and grounded, which is the opposite of what this is feeling. So this is recent past, distant past, okay? So, and then the influence that's coming in very soon is awesome actually, because this card, the Hierophant, is actually about stability. It's about strong foundations. It's the most stable card there is. It's foundational work. It's moving forward, living in a way, using your intellect and your passion, your drive. What are you driven to do? How do you want your life to look? When you get up in the morning, do you have breakfast? If you do have breakfast, what kind of breakfast do you have? Do you exercise? When do you exercise? Do you hydrate? What are the things that I want to be the structures or routines of my life? Where do I take myself? To this job or that job, or to charity or to this? You know, what does my life look like? What do I want it to look like? I'm going to set the structures, put the structures in place. What the daily routines that I go through, or weekly routines that I go through, I will set them. This is a strong foundational card. So we've been talking about your foundations being rocked, and we need to go through this period of shakiness and upheaval. But if we respond to it in a way that is the highest version of us, going, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it, and just do what you nurture yourself and do what you need to do for yourself, then you come to a place of stability, because you're not in the deep water anymore, you're on ground. And you can assess, reassess, evaluate, tie up loose ends, whatever it is. Take a moment to breathe and collect yourself and learn your lessons, connected to the divine using your intellect. But you've got a lot of good energy, a good, very auspicious energy around you at the moment. It will bring, that attitude will bring auspicious energy to you. So lots of good luck, and there's the path moving forward. But there's no rush, right? And then so the influence coming in is influencing us to decide, no rush, no pressure, but decide, as I was saying before, where to place our energies. Recreate your life. What are the structures, what are the things that you do that make up your day, your week, your month, your year? And you make those decisions in a day. All of those things must serve you. This is about service to self, instead of your energy going out to everybody else and your life being impacted by whatever and whoever's around you. This is about making decisions for yourself. You've already learnt that lesson. And now taking it to the nth degree and saying, what do I want my life to actually look like? What do I want to do? What do I need to, I think the last reading was the Chariot, so it was about what do I need to move away from and what do I need to move towards. This is where do I place my energy now? What do I actually do that nourishes, feeds, stabilizes me? So aside from all of the wonderful skills and talents that you already have, you're also going to be the most stable person in the room as well. You already were, but this is for you, being your own stabilizing factor. If that makes sense. The current attitude that you're exhibiting through all of this is one of strength. Is one of, I've got this under control. I know what I'm doing. I know what to do now. So awesome. I've tamed the beast. For some people, it's I've tamed my pride as well. Sometimes we hold on to things or do things out of pride, or pride becomes the blocker for us moving forward. I was talking about resistance before. It could be that pride has what's been in the way of us just stepping forward to the new chapter. For others, it's fear. If you were approached by a lion, what would you feel? Be pretty scary, right? But this person is having an affectionate moment with the lion, connecting with the lion. So got pride and ego in check, and also fear of the unknown, fear of danger. Getting all that in check. So the attitude's good. So a snapshot of your life and the role you play in it is you are a communicator, you are a divine angel, you are an earth angel, and you're a great communicator to people. You're in service of people, absolutely. And it's like you come out of nowhere, you pop into people's lives in ways that, like, you might be there for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. But while you're doing that, the role you play is to communicate the good news. So you're always helping people, and a lot of it is through your throat chakra, through your expression. Okay, so it shows that the role you play is you always leave a place better than what you found it. Now, if that doesn't sum it up for you, I don't know what will. That shows your intent. It's awesome. So I'm talking to some really beautiful people. What you're desiring and fearing at the same time, hidden desires and fears, is justice. More so, my eye's been drawn to the scales. You want justice to be done, but you more so want balance. The sword is there. I'm not going to pretend that the sword is not there. Like, I'm not going to pretend there's certain people you want to cut off at the knees or off with your head, right? That some people need to be taught where boundaries are, because this is about boundaries. How close we let people get. We use the sword to say, no, stop yourself there. Stop right there. You're not coming towards me correctly. Stop right there. I'll have to use this sword and cut you off at the knees. All right? Because that's my personal boundary. I won't accept behaviour like that. Yeah? That's all based on what we've learnt. And what we've learnt we deserve. Right? So that's there. I'm not going to deny that. But to me, what we want even more is a sense of balance. We want some equilibrium and some balance come back into our lives, because all this stuff has just been so destabilizing for us, and we just want, can we just and breathe? And what Source is saying, breathe now, do it anyway. Breathe while you're falling from the top of the tower into the thistles and bushes and broken branches, right? We don't know where you're going to land. While that's happening, breathe and smile. Enjoy the view on the way down. Like, I know I'm being ridiculous, but that's what they're saying to do. And that's what will in fact stabilize us. And then we'll be even in a better place to be able to make our lives the way that we want it. And it ain't based on everything and everyone around us. But again, Wheel of Fortune, wheel turning in your favour, the wheel started to shift. It doesn't feel like it's in your favour because it's so destabilising and upsetting. But the actual fact is, we need to be grateful because we can bring the sunshine ourselves and then get ourselves out of the water by being there for ourselves and not abandoning ourselves. I hope it's all starting to tie in and make sense to what I was saying at the beginning. And then end result, if everything goes this way, what interferes with that? Why do I say if everything goes that way? What interferes with this particular end result, or any end result really of the end of a reading, is free will. You can choose not to be there for yourself and give yourself a hard time. You can resist the change and the shifts in energy. Yeah? You can go to the people around you and be destructive instead of respectfully expressive. It doesn't mean if you need to raise your voice, but do things in a respectful way. Do it because it's due, not just because you want to hurt them because you're hurting. I hope that makes sense to somebody. But if you don't start floating and doing what's best for you, then you're in resistance mode, you're in survival mode, you're in fear mode, the opposite of what I've just described, and then this won't happen. So what is this? Is the Hermit. And so it's about you being in a position to be able to shed light on your own life, on your own, on things that bother you. And I feel like the staff, I don't know if you can see it, the staff that the hermit has in his hand, I've never seen it like that before. It's using that to draw a line. Where's the line for you? So we're talking about what you'll tolerate and what you won't tolerate. Being very mindful when you're on your own and shedding light on the things that bother you, and then drawing a line. I won't have any more of this, thank you. Or my tolerance level allows for this much, and that's it. And so we're really working out what, back to the Hierophant again, really working out what we want to do and to what degree and when and how and with whom. Discernment. A lot of this is discernment, yeah? Really being there for ourselves, and then using our discernment to have boundaries in place, because a lot of the problem with the way that we were is that we didn't have any boundaries. We didn't have any self-protective mechanisms. We were just like bleeding hearts, over-generous. Right? So this is why we recognise the need for balance and self-protection, for boundaries. And we're going to learn to do that. Okay? I'm just going to pull out another card here. And we have the Chariot. So you actually are wanting to move on from things and people, environments that no longer serve you, or activities even that you've done where you've placed your energies, it doesn't serve you. You're wanting to move on from that. You're welcoming the change, but we had to go through it via the Tower, via this really disruptive, unexpected, painful change is how it had to happen, and you're wanting to move forward and get on with things. So that's awesome. And take advantage of opportunities and new opportunities you have around you. And then we have the world. So this is, again, closing off the cycle that we've been in. This process, this period of transformation, transition, when we're moving into a place where our life is how we want it to be. We have certain influences or people around us, but here we are doing our dance in the middle. We choose to whom we give our energy. We choose how, where, why, and when. Okay? So our life becomes our own. We're dancing within the centre of our own lives because we now have boundaries in place. We know now discernment like never before. I hope that makes sense. At the bottom of the deck is the Fool. So we want to get on with it. We want to move forward, and we want to get on with it. Do what we need to do for ourselves. This is for me the card of discernment, because I always describe the Fool card as I've got what I need. I've got my little picnic pack there. I've already picked a rose. So I'm out there smelling the roses, right? Which we always need encouragement to do. And I've got what I need, thank you very much. And that's your pile of crap over there, and that's your pile of crap over there, and I'm not concerning myself with that. That's for you to concern yourself with. I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, and I'm stepping forward, and I'm optimistic. Okay, so it's a new beginning. Stepping forward towards new beginnings, taking advantage of opportunities before us, and doing what we need to do for ourselves, not being influenced by everything and everyone around us, and feeling guilty if we do this for ourselves. Like, for goodness sake, do you have other people around you not doing the best things they need to do for themselves because they need permission from you, or because they feel guilty? If you do, encourage them to do it, and then encourage yourself to do it. Like, we need to be, if you're surrounded by people who you know they're there for you when you want to have a drink or have a social whatever, I'm not into that stuff, but have a social life and whatever you guys do, but that's sort of it. But they're not actually equipped to be able to give you any solid advice or be there for you in any way when you have relationship troubles or anything that really matters. Your troubles at work or trouble making a decision for yourself. These people are useless for that. They're only good for when times are good. You need to, reassess who you got around you. And I'm not saying cut people out of your life. That's for you to choose, but that's what the sword's for. But reassess. This is another reason why we're saying, you choose who with whom and how and when and how long and whatever you place your energies with. This is part of discernment, right? Is you look up, you've got a drink in your hand and you're with all your buddies and whatever, or your girls or whatever, and you look around you and you go, these are, what do they call them? Fair weather friends. Fair weather friends. You may have been attracted to these people at a time when you needed to pretend that things were better than they actually were. Or at a time where you just needed to be uplifted with people who only talk about surface stuff and have a laugh. It's all for shits and giggles, right? But those people won't be there for you when you stumble. So you can have those friends if you want, but sometimes we need to really assess where we're placing our energies. And I could be talking past tense where you were placing your energies. Maybe those people have fallen away as you've gone through transitions within your life. And you're wondering why. Well, this is why, because they don't hold the same, they don't resonate with who you're becoming, who you are currently. I hope that makes sense. I don't know why that part had to come out, but it did. Just to finish off, the warning that I often give with the full card is, see how he's looking up to the sky, so his nose up in the air, going, I'm set, I know what I'm doing. I'm taking advantage of what's before me, and I'm not going to worry about or be affected by or influenced by anybody else. I know what's good for me, and I'm stepping towards that. But the warning is, don't put the blinkers on. The horse blinkers that horses wear? It stops them from having peripheral vision. It makes them only look forward. Don't put your blinkers on, because that's when he walks off a cliff or walks through long grass and gets bitten on the bum by a snake or whatever. Like, you need to be able to keep your wits about you and still be aware. See what I'm doing? Aware. Use your peripheral vision to be aware of what's going on around you. You're not going to be affected by it or base your decisions on it, but you be aware of it. So that if there is a change in variables around you, you can adjust your path. Make sense? I hope so. Anyway, all of this is in service of you. I hope this has resonated with you. I'd love to say I hope it doesn't, because I hope you're not going through this, right? But it's actually an awesome thing. That these are awesome times we're in, very scary, very potentially, if that's your response to it. Some people are experiencing fear, others are experiencing excitement, others are feeling the instability of it, and some love that, some don't. Whatever it is that balances us out, that's what we're going to go through. So it potentially has the potential for us to have a knee-jerk reaction of great resistance to it. And there will be resistance to certain things in the world. We know that, and we've been seeing that, and there is a need for that. Pimples popping all over the place. Gross. Volcanoes erupting all over the place. Winds of change coming through. Water on land. All sorts of stuff that shifts. There's a shifting taking place, making us all reassess everything. But if you look through the middle of it, The eye of the tornado or the eye of the storm is calm. Look through the middle of things. Find your place of balance. Know that if I've always been someone who has done things a certain way or played a certain role, it's not going to work anymore. I need to balance myself out, come back to the center so that I give as much to myself as I do others. Yeah? When I give it with a certain intent. I'm aware of the energies being exchanged or the energy pouring out of me, and I can turn the tap off whenever, adjust it whenever I need to. It's okay that when I'm in service of others or when I'm helping a friend in need, that for me to say, you know what, I know you're not 100% better yet. I'm here helping you. I've been here all day, or I've been here for 2 hours, or I've been here for 5 minutes. But I now need to go and do things for myself or replenish my energy. I've done as much as I can do right now. I'll be back, or I'll check in on you. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean you're not helping. It just means that you do things in a balanced way, or you help intensely for a couple of weeks or a couple of days because they absolutely need you right now. They might have broken their leg or whatever. And then don't stay there. Once you even while you're there helping, you can also question them as to who else can help you, because this is, a lot for me. I need to continue to do things for myself. Or you're happy to do it for those 2 weeks or however long it is, but then there's got to be a time where the focus comes back onto you, or within that time you take time out to go for your walks, go for a swim, whatever you need to do to replenish yourself. You don't self-sacrifice to the point of like absolute devastation. This is what this is all about. Don't do it anymore. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and I hope this has helped. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, so that other people can see this as well, whoever needs to see it. And just know that you're supported and support yourself.